And here we are. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pulp Cthulhu's Project Athena, fueled by Chaosium's very own 7th edition Call of Cthulhu game system. I said system too many times. It's okay. It's one of those nights. I'm going to make a couple mistakes tonight, everybody, as I have about 17,000 timelines going through my head. And with my Olympians that are currently at my disposal, something tells me I should have prepped for 17,001. But before we go forward, we have to go back and let's talk to Lauren. Lauren, how are you doing, my friend? And are you ready for tonight's episode of Project Athena? Oh, wait a minute. As it looks as if, once again, the love that I have for everything that is the updates from Microsoft. Give me 1 second, everybody, as I figure out what's going on. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Everything's wrong. Give me 1 sec. I love Microsoft. You're the best. Let's try it now. Talk and see if anybody can hear you. They probably can't. That's right. They still can't.
Say that? That's your sister.
Okay. Everyone, you should be back up now. Please let me know in chat if you can hear everyone. Again, it's one of those lovely things where they decide to update Windows 10 for, I don't know, the 17 millionth time, and then Streamlabs OBS says, oh my god, everything that we had updated before must be updated again. Thank you very much, Kian, and everybody in chat. Let's do this again as we start back and go back to go forward. Lauren, how are you doing? And are you ready for tonight's episode?
I had a marvelously sassy introduction that is now lost to time. Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter, she, her pronouns. And tonight I'm playing Miss Sabella Maria Ives of Bob's Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore in the beautiful Lower East Side of Manhattan. Psychic, libraries, smooching, showers, very calm, always polite, never curse. The end.
Right. All of that. Yeah, everybody make a psychology check. As we go over to the man that requires constant psychology checks, both in and out of character. Strider, how are you doing, my friend? And are you ready for tonight's episode of Project Athena?
In and out of character. Funny you mention that, actually. You know, Greg, the Kubler-Ross stages of grief explain that when someone's going through a traumatic event, there's certain observable phenomenon that may sometimes occur when learning to live without a loved one or dealing with some kind of loss. Last week, we saw Elijah dealing with stage 1, denial. How's he going to respond next? I'm afraid I can't say. Spoiler alerts. Though we both need psychology checks, because I, personally, have not been able to get over my denial yet of this being our last season. I keep telling myself there's going to be extra episodes of Season 5. Elijah Sawyer will make a triumphant return, but I'm sure I will process this and wind up getting pissed soon. So, until then, I'm in optimistic denial. Everything's going to be fantastic.
That was eloquent, but everything I've heard from the two of you so far are lies and threats. I don't appreciate them, and we will go down to somebody who will not lie, nor will they threat, but they will surely throw a wrench in every plan that you all have, which is why I like the next person. Steve, how are you doing, my friend? And are you ready for tonight's episode of Project Athena?
I'm a wrench thrower. Yes, I will definitely. I'm here. I play Dwight Burke. I shoot. I spot hidden. I make mistakes. And I burn this motherfucker down. So I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do this.
Finally, some honesty. I appreciate it. I appreciate the honesty. It's good. It's refreshing. And before we get to what I'm sure is just going to be a cavalcade of lies about how horrible I am, I instead am going to go over to Lindy. Lindy, how are you doing this evening? And are you ready for tonight's episode of Project Athena?
Hi, Greg. I'm doing pretty spiffy. I will say I'm not ready for tonight's episode, so I mean, let's just do it. I'm very excited to play and scared to play Greta von Krauss, the lovely German doctor and scientist, definitely not insane, had no business being in an asylum. They just must have mistaken genius for madness. It happens every now and again. But now I'm in a desert, gonna try to drive a motorcycle and get more hugs, maybe upgrade, take it to, first base. Be great. I'm excited. Let's see what happens. Let's go.
Okay. And for all of our younger viewers, which I hope there are none, of course, that means baseball. And finally, and without further ado, we will drop down to Allison. Allison, my dear friend, who I've never wronged in any role-playing game, whether as a player or as a game master, DM, or keeper. How are you doing this wonderful Sunday evening before Thanksgiving? A time of thanks, a time of giving, where friends let friends get away with things. And how are you ready for Project Athena?
Well, now who's lying, Greg? Hi, everybody. It's Allison. I play Caitlin Jane O'Callahan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's late flying sweetheart. But you know what? I've been dead before. We'll see how it goes tonight.
I'm pretty sure that was an Eddie Money song. I've been dead before. I can't remember the album though. But before we decide to go forward, we have to go back, everyone. And there are a couple things that we need to take care of, both of the poll variety that has already occurred and ones that must occur because of the generosity of chat last week. And that segues wonderfully into if you would like to affect the story in any way, of which, of course, it is completely unnecessary, but if you so desire to become a part of the narrative, please look straight down and you can see the donation table for this particular show, Project Athena. You can see how you can help the cast, how you can make it more challenging for them. But with that in mind, last week, we had some extraordinarily generous people, especially with the past couple weeks, I might add. And because we hit both of our tiers, both $50 and $100, we had two polls that went off. The first was to vote for one of these Olympians that you see, and to grant them an immediate 1d10 sanity loss. But where there is something that taketh awayeth, it also giveth, as you are able to then pocket a 1d10 of healing. So the winner of that wonderful poll last week was Allison. Allison, Kate has received an immediate 1d10 sanity loss. So if you would go ahead and roll that for me, we will apply that at the beginning of the episode. Also, with the $100 tier having also been reached, we were able to, as a chat and as a group and as a community, give one of these Olympians a care package from the Burke Farm, which you don't have to have been around long to know that this is just simply a permanent boon that is very, very powerful, that will help that particular character from this point forward. The winner of that boon receiving a care package from the Burke Farm was none other than our very own straight arrow principal Dr. Greta von Krauss. And so, Lindy, Greta will be receiving a permanent care package boon from the Burke Farm sometime, hopefully, during this episode. Now, with that being said, we also hit both tiers last time, which requires, at the beginning of this episode, a vote. And so if you have those straw polls ready, Lauren, we can go ahead and drop the first one in there. This is the $50 tier. This will give one of the Olympians mentioned in the poll an immediate 1d10 of sanity loss, but also a 1d10 of healing. So if you're looking at it and trying to figure who do I give this to, maybe not think of the sanity loss, but think of the healing gain. I don't know. And then also in the next 5 or 10 minutes, we will also post the poll for the care package from the Burke Farm, as one of the remaining Olympians will receive yet another permanent boon. And that is because you all are awesome. You have affected the narrative. And the narrative, you say, Greg, well, what's that? It is this. As of last episode, the group was split into 3 different companies. We had Elijah and Greta, who are currently still in England, battling through figuring out an escape from the asylum and the prisons upon which they were both captured. Throughout the course of the episode with them, Dr. Dietrich, one of the clones of Joseph Dietrich, was killed by none other than John Dillinger. And when all these things came about, there was a search, and Greta found many of her very own serums either augmented, refined, or perhaps expanded upon the person of Dr. Dietrich. She was able to take all of these, and she was able to see what they could do, just glean the information from them from having previously worked with Dr. Dietrich. But in addition to that, Elijah was faced with the love of his life. We're unsure, as Elijah Sawyer is a enigmatic figure. But this Ruth, seemingly 5 to 10 years older than the Ruth that he remembered, delivered information that the loved ones of all of the Olympians were fighting in a different dimension, calling themselves Olympians. She was able, at the last minute, to say that they were coming. They were coming as soon as they could figure out a way. And bequeathed to both Greta and Elijah tarnished coins. The only explanation was these were the coins that her Olympians used to travel. In their world, we're not sure. She simply said it was to keep their loved ones together. And so, upon taking these into their possession, true to any magic in Cthulhu, it began to work. They disappeared, and they returned to a desolate area outside or to the south of Jerusalem. And they were able to see a Jeep carrying none other than Sabella Ives, driven by Dwight Burke, and with 2 snake-headed dogs in the back, in pursuit of a truck heading north back to the city of Jerusalem. They were able to jump aboard a motorcycle and follow this Jeep. Now, Sabella and Dwight, what did they do? Well, they were able to track down a dig site south of Jerusalem. It was a large archaeological dig, but that wasn't important. What was important was the person in charge of this dig seemed to be none other than Jack Kilgrave, the former handler of Project Athena, now seemingly on his own and in charge of this area of operation. He also revealed to them by a great distance a golden crown, something that at least one of them knew needed to be acquired. And shortly after that, as the Nazis are wont to do, they decided to take both of these into possession. And as they descended upon the dig site, killing anyone that got in their way, Dwight stopped Sabella from running into the fray, but they also watched as their friend, Jack Kilgrave, and the crown were loaded aboard a truck, and the truck headed north. They jumped aboard a Jeep with their snake-headed dogs in tow, took to the pursuit, followed, though they did not know it, by a motorcycle and a sidecar, carrying Dr. Greta Von Krause and Elijah Sawyer. But that's only a bit of the story, my friends. As the leader of the Olympians, Caitlin Jane O'Callahan was stuck in yet another dimension, one that found her crippled, paralyzed from the waist down. She fought. She met a friend. The Pope of Malibu, named Al, offered her a way out via ritual, a ritual that consumed Jack Parsons. But it was a ritual that Kate could not complete. And as a devastation of natural forces descended upon this house along the coast of California, we witnessed the death of Caitlin Jane O'Callahan. But at the very end of the episode, Kate's eyes opened, as did innumerable pairs of eyes, as Kate O'Callahan, seemingly affected by the same cloning magic that had taken Joseph Dietrich, opened her eyes and viewed herself multiplied in infinity. She is Legion. And we are going to start with Kate. So Kate, let's go here. As you open your eyes, you look upon a world that is filled with you. It is not a world of geography or environment or atmosphere. It is a world of Kate O'Callahan. There are no horizons. There are eyebrows and cheekbones, chins and shoulders, a wave, a plain, mountains and fields, all of Kate O'Callahan. And as these eyes turn and as this nauseating, disorienting feeling hits you and takes you through each of these endless gazes, you finally settle upon one set of eyes as it looks out upon everyone. And as you look out upon all of your friends, this is where you will take your 5 points of sanity loss. And instead of a temporary insanity, as is the mechanic for any insanity loss over or 5 or over, instead, Kate, you become aware of the following. And welcome, everybody. We are currently driving people crazy. This is Pulp Cthulhu's Project Athena. Sit back and watch the insanity. So as you settle in, there is no temporary insanity. Speaking of a fraying of your mind, that's already there. You're seeing yourself in triplicate multiplied. But there's one thing, you know yourself, Kate. You're standing on your own 2 legs. You feel more aware of yourself than you did in this place before, where you were in the chair and fighting Jack and climbing inside of his cavity and burning alive. But there's something different. You can't place it at first. It's a feeling that it's not a loss, it's not a gain, it's not a difference. It's a historical inaccuracy. And as you're thinking to yourself, looking at all of these possibilities of you, you realize that for whatever reason you were wrong before. You didn't crash in your attempt to circle the world. You made it. You made it. Kate O'Callahan, circumnavigator and aviatrix of the skies, not of just America, but of the world entire. You are staring at versions of yourself, but despite the sanity loss, you've never felt more sure. And that is where we are going to pick up as you leave this scene of infinity. And as the eyes dim and blur, casting aside all of these Kates, they refocus. Your hands are bound behind you. Your feet are bound at the ankle. You are in some type of large wicker basket. It is finely woven. It is warm. The top of this basket moves and opens, and you see a man looking down at you that you recognize to be Erwin Rommel. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to take you back to Berlin, Miss O'Callahan. This is a fine prize for the Fuhrer, even if it's not one that I wished to capture. But you understand, of course, this is apparently the preludes of war.
Huh. Yeah. Well, you never would have captured me at all if I hadn't made that one mistake.
He looks, and he reaches down and gestures to your throat. And though you can't see it, you can feel the amulet that's pressed against your skin. You made no mistake, Miss O'Callahan. You're wearing this. Whether you know it or not, you cannot take it off. We simply went fishing. We caught a big one.
Well, I guess you did. This is terribly uncomfortable. I'm just wondering if perhaps I don't have to ride all the way there in this basket, do I?
I'm afraid you do. You see, you are, your reputation precedes you. I fear that if I allowed you...
Of course it does, sweetheart.
I fear that if I allowed you's common decency that I would afford other prisoners under my command, under my control, that I might find something very sharp in my throat.
Well, honey, if you're scared, just say you're scared.
I'm scared.
You ought to be.
But I am also not in a basket. I shall see you in Berlin. And he takes the wicker and closes it over Kate. You hear some type of movement on the outside. You can only assume it's a fastening of the lid in place. The wicker itself is obviously not airtight. It is finely woven. It is strong and not dry. You could probably give it enough torque, punch through it. It would take a tremendous amount of leverage that you currently do not have or possess, as you are bound in this nature. But over the course of the next hour or two, you feel the rumbling of the truck beneath you. It ends with a large exchange of gunfire and shouting. You hear movement in the area directly around your basket as there are yells and screams and thumps and something being loaded into the area. And shortly after that, you hear the as the truck begins to rev at a very high RPM as it tries to gain speed, momentum, as it gears back in whatever direction it may currently be traveling. But as it goes forward, you hear a voice that you haven't heard for a while, as Jack Kilgrave says to his captors, "The hell do you people want? You know what I'm doing here? You're goddamn fools." And as we cut away from this scene, we are going to go back to the group at large, as let's pick up directly as Dwight behind the wheel of the Jeep with Sabella in the air and the shotgun seat beside, and our two dogs, which are our snake dogs, are named
Cleo and Tom.
Cleo and Tom. I have it written down. I knew, but I wanted to make sure that we just said it.
Abominations.
You're welcome.
I have a couple things to take care of. You guys were a little bit late in getting to your Jeep, so the truck is ahead of you. You can see it disappearing. It's moving at a rapid rate, but actually go ahead and roll spot hiddens for me as I begin to see what these lovely people have done for us.
Jeeps are faster than trucks.
You would think.
Spot hidden?
Yep.
Success.
Hard success.
Okay, let's see what we've got so far here. It looks like we are You guys look forward and you notice that the truck itself, while traveling at a high rate of speed, you would guess that it is not the vehicle's top speed. So at this point, I would ask both of you what you would like to do. Catching up is obviously something you can say, but catching up in a specific way is... Tell me how you want to do whatever you're going to do, please.
Well, let me ask you something before, Lauren. Can I go in the dunes and kind of like circumnavigate and come off to the side of them, of the passenger side? He wants to stay away from the driver looking out the rear.
Okay, so if you want to stay, you're trying to go off to the side. I
Yes.
will let you know this
He wants
right
to go to
away.
the right of it.
Let me see your spot hidden rolls. Absolutely. With the spot hidden rolls, you will immediately get bogged down in the sand. Perhaps not
Okay.
like stuck or mired, but you will slow down as the sand offside of the tack road is drifted and duny.
What? If they don't notice anything is up with us, maybe we should just hang back and see where they're going? Because Cleo and Tom are sticking their heads out in the wind right now. Maybe they'll just think we're part of the caravan.
Sabella, what is your intention if we get back this crown?
To not let them have it.
And what are you going to do with it?
Put it in my bag.
And be
Leave
honest.
it there.
Be honest with me right now. Yeah, he's driving. Be honest with me. What are we going to do with it? We need to destroy these things.
Well, sure, but I don't know how to do that yet. I don't
Psychology-
even have my books anymore. Excuse me?
Psychology checker.
If this is going to be a PvP, you guys know how to do this. You roll against one another, and narratively, this is not something that can be revealed, which can't be revealed. You can just kind of have an idea that you think you're being lied to.
Success.
Yeah, you're pretty sure she's telling the truth.
I could have rolled a charm too.
Could you have, Steven?
You're not charming. So as we are, I mean, you're not.
You have
in
your
the act
own
of
special
charming.
charm.
Right. You're not trying to charm, hence you're not charming, right?
I have never
also,
knowingly lied to you.
before I forget about this, we have had several donations come in. Greta, the Pope of Malibu, has given you 15 additional % into your drive skill. We have advantages to all of the Olympians has come in as well. And our dear Prax has given us an advantage to whomever should need it. So as a group, if one of you requires an advantage, I will allow you to award it to whomever you would like. At the end of the episode, I will award it just to make sure it gets placed, should you not use it. And then also, Pope has donated something else that I am going to keep to myself in case it's something that we need. So, as you guys are driving, arguing back and forth, Dwight, you might still hold reservations about what knowledge that Sabella possesses, but you don't have the time to really deal with this as you are driving down towards this truck. What are you going to do?
Who got in the vehicle?
Some of the Dietrichs and Kilgrave.
Okay, so
We
I know.
know Rommel's driving.
Okay, so they got some tough fuckers in there, is what we're saying. So
Yes.
it's not like normal soldiers where I think I could take them out if we had to. I'm going to try to step on it a little bit, Gage, and I'll do what Sabella says and follow.
Right, and you did see them from a pretty hefty distance too. So, you're not sure exactly if there's anybody inside that was unaccounted for. You're not sure, but
Dwight, even if we lose them, I think I can find them.
Okay, we're not going to lose.
Just don't draw too much attention to our pursuit.
All right. Well, without Sabella knowing, Dwight wants to get close enough to where if he can shoot the tank and destroy the whole vehicle, he's going to take that chance.
Okay.
Sure. Why not?
As you are driving and getting closer, I will let you know this. We have not entered the chase sequence yet, as they have not noticed you. But as you descend upon this scene, Dwight, this is not a paved road. This is not a road. This is more of an agricultural pass, something that might need to be ridden upon a beast of burden or a four-legged mount and not a four-wheeled vehicle. And so you guys are jumping and jostling, and a couple times Tom and Cleo have to actually bite the back of the seats to keep from getting thrown out.
Hopefully they fall out.
They don't.
They're not going to. But as it bounces around, you realize that if you take your hands off of this wheel, at this speed, there could be problems. And with problems being the perfect segue for the group that is trailing, let us zip back to the dig site, as we are currently in both the saddle and the sidecar of a motorcycle. Dr. Greta von Krause, you have reached and jumped aboard this bike with the KR carved into the tarnish of the bars in front. And as you jump into the sidecar, Elijah, your feet immediately bang into something. And as you kind of look around and reach down, you see a tarnished but still magnificent, like oak, maybe mahogany stalk. And as you pull out this ancient contraption of powder and fire, you see a four-barreled blunderbuss as, for whatever reason, is in this sidecar. But without the need for a roll, when you look at it, it carries the strange carvings that your time with Project Athena has made you at least a bit accustomed. But as you are all sitting there, I need to know what you would like to do, as you are third in a race of 3.
Elijah's going to scream since they're seeing gunfire and all kinds of chaos. Greta, you need to fucking gun it.
All right, I will drive like we are on the Autobahn. That seems to be what happens every single time I get in a vehicle, but let's just see what happens.
See if you can catch up to Dwight.
All right, Dwight, is that one?
He's over the hill. I don't know. Just go.
Okay, let's go. Last one's again. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Elijah's like propped up facing, like the battle going on. Like he's facing backwards. He has feet up on this side of the sidecar. Like his back to wherever it is they're heading.
Okay, so riding in the exact opposite of the way a sidecar is intended to be ridden in.
Turn around.
Right, you're turned around, and as you are turned around watching, you continue to see the annihilation of this camp as the laborers who are putting up a fight before are dying in droves. There is no doubt that they will be eradicated. You bear witness to several of their deaths. But it is shortly after, as Greta begins to whip the bike back and forth, that the column of thrown sand behind you and the natural rise of the dunes takes the vision from your sight. And Greta, as you are riding with your hair moving against the desert winds that you are creating from between...
Back a little bit. But my lab coat's like flapping out.
Right, it's the old adage of both equestrian and motorcycle rider. The winds of heaven are only the ones that blow either between a horse's ears or between the handlebars of a motorcycle. And so, as heaven's breeze blows against you, Greta, you drive down, and being in a quicker vehicle, you can see both Jeep and truck ahead of it as it curves into a narrowing valley. What would you like to do?
I'll catch up to the closest one in the back. Dwight's in one of these. I'll figure out which one.
Okay.
Who is that Jeep up there?
And so,
right.
As all of you that don't do drive are being blessed by people that realize how necessary drive is in Call of Cthulhu, I will ask the following. Allison, Kate is on deck as soon as I figure out a couple of these roles. So we will go in the order of current positioning in the race. So it's going to be the truck, the Jeep, and then finally the motorcycle. But to all of our drivers, this being both Dwight and Greta, I need you to make a drive auto roll for me.
Really? Are you sure? Okay.
Use your advantage.
Any advantages?
I was gonna say I'm
Steven.
gonna use an advantage.
Steven.
Are we using advantages?
I am.
Yes, I knew you were going to do this.
You're driving a car.
Oh!
Nice, Greta.
Nope.
Ooh.
I'm good at this motorcycle.
Okay, absolutely. So advantages, let me adjust them so I can keep them on the fly for you guys. And
Bullshit.
Be a proper keeper. As you guys are driving down, how this works in a chase scene for Call of Cthulhu, whenever I call for a drive roll, the movement of your vehicles is constant. Your ability to control said movement is dependent upon your drive roll. Was that an extreme success from you? No, it was a hard success. So you are able to maintain the optimal speed of your motorcycle. Dwight, the rough road has gotten the better of you a bit, and you are unable to close the gap with the truck for this particular round. At this moment, I would like anybody from either vehicle, and let's just make it fun, and we will have Sabella and Elijah roll stealth checks as these two vehicles are creeping up on.
Do Cleo and Tom just give me advantage?
I got an extreme success. I rolled 6.
That's amazing.
Stealth motorcycle.
How?
Like I said before, Theo and Tom and Cleo are they're providing you with the ability not to just be immediately detected as
Okay,
enemies.
cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, I'll use an advantage then.
Dwight, increase your drive by 15%
Yes!
as the Pope of
Success!
Malibu. Okay, has bequeathed. So for this particular
Thank you.
for this particular round, you guys are not detected by the truck ahead, even though you're unable to increase the distance or close the distance between Jeep and truck. A second later, and you guys, player agency, I don't know if anyone's shocked by this or not, but you see a motorcycle driven by Greta nearly expertly, and Elijah, facing fucking backwards, drive by you.
Greta!
What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
Is that them? Do you see them? I don't want to take my eyes off the sand.
I'm waving like a madman at them. My stealth was good though.
Elijah grins and gives a hearty salute over to Dwight.
They made it! I'm hitting his arm. They made it!
Do I even live in reality anymore? Is this the real world?
Dwight, if you can just drive a little better, you could get up and we could go say hi to Mr. Rommel.
Speaking of which, none the wiser for this attack that is occurring, or this approaching attack, perchance, we will cut back into the truck itself. As we get back into the truck, we have Kate inside a basket. You have heard the voice of Jack Kilgrave, Kate. You recognize this voice. What do you do?
I clear my throat and I start to sing. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing.
And you hear a very, hey, schnell, I'm not a, and you hear you feel a press against the side of the wicker, close to where your head is. And you hear, of thee I sing. Kate, is that you?
Well, of course it's me. Jack, who else did you expect to be in a wicker basket in the back of a Nazi truck in the middle of somewhere hot, I guess?
We're in Jerusalem. And then you hear a thump. Son of a bitch! Katie! And I'd like you to make a dex check for me at disadvantage, Kate, as you are tied up inside a basket.
Is it a dex check or a dodge check?
We're going to go with straight dex here, as something's happening that you're going to try to avoid, yeah.
All right. How about a hard success?
That'll do. Because you normally get advantage on those?
No, I'm just good.
Well, then roll 2 of them, because you have a disadvantage on this, as you are inside a basket.
All right.
Still a success. So as you hear this commotion outside, whether it is Jack or just the scrum of the kind of small bed of the truck, your basket gets hit and you're able to roll with the impact, and suddenly you are moving like a barrel, side over side, as you crash against something, and you feel feet hitting as this general action outside threatens the entire area in which you're in. You've heard fights before, Kate. Hell, you've been in most of them. But this one definitely sounds like there's something going on right outside, and you can feel bodies hit and kind of go against the wicker as it crunches. And Scheiße, and all this, German expletives. And you also hear the laughing of Jack Kilgrave. And when you hear what sounds like knuckles being thrown into a ham, and the continued laughing of Jack gets gurglier and gurglier, you hear the last thing that he says before whatever happens to Jack Kilgrave. Oh, you fuckers don't know what you got in that basket.
I'm gonna try to. It's on its side now, right? Can I crawl out or something?
The lid has not popped off it.
Can I give it a kick?
You are feet down, head towards the lid. You could try to position yourself where you would move, kind of do what a cat does when it jumps in something that's too small. And
I'm just going with my head.
Sure. Roll me a straight up strength check, please.
Okay, I'll take advantage on this.
Sure.
Success.
Don't need it.
Okay, you hit, and it doesn't give, but you hear the telltale cracking and tearing of the weave of the basket. You figure a couple more shots like that might do it, or a mighty blow. Mechanically, something a little bit better than a regular success.
I'll probably just keep at it.
Roll me a luck check.
Okay. Fumble.
As soon as you kind of go to rear up and kind of crouch down and spring your head back up, you feel the basket being lifted. And just as you spring up, you feel the butt of a gun or something heavy go down into the top, and it cracks you against the top of the skull. And for 2 hit points of damage, as you feel, inside in the density of your hair, you feel that warmth as your skull has been at least partially split, and you hear the aggravated yelling. There seems to be something still going on out there. You're unsure of exactly what it is, but they are aware of your trying to escape, or at least raging against the basket. And so as we leave this round, we are going to zip back to the Jeep. And as we zip back to the Jeep, you guys have just seen the motorcycle rev past you. I would like to see what Dwight and Sabella would like to do.
They're going to be seeing Sabella. God damn it, that's going to blow everything.
Well, then get ahead of them. Just pull up to the driver's side if you can. You're not going to be able to shoot Mr. Rommel if you recall.
You don't
But
know.
we can try something else.
You have no clue that I was going to shoot anybody. All right, he'll do it.
Who are you?
I'm a
What's
pacifist.
alongside?
Oh, I got this, and he just steps on the gas. Oh, yes.
Okay, as you accelerate into this move, I would also like a drive auto from Greta.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, so at this instance, you guys are able to, with Elijah still bouncing in the sidecar.
Turn
backwards.
around. If we impact something, your trajectory would not be good for you.
I think they're chasing somebody.
Tesla is definitely interested in what's going on.
She's so interested.
As we pass them up, which I think is going to happen, flank them!
So yeah, you guys catch up and you're going side by side. And by the way, I've never seen anything funnier than when Lindy breaks into a German accent and the cat looks at her like, "You're not my mom." Who are you?
The cat was trying to figure out what is
The cat
going on.
always does it. The cat will be like, it just stares straight up.
Can I even pull a 45 to try to shoot the tire, G's? What do I need to do it?
You can pull out a gun, but I'm gonna make you start rolling if you start doing anything other
Okay,
than
well,
rolling.
yeah, okay, all right. Dwight's gonna try to pull out a 45 and shoot the tire.
Their tire.
Their tire, not my tire. Yeah,
Like,
not
okay.
us.
sure.
Elijah's
I
actually
will
kind
let-
of gonna like wave and try to catch your attention if that's all right first.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, he's Dwight pulls the gun to try to get the tire, and if he sees Strider or Elijah, he definitely.
Elijah's hoisting the big blunderbuss up. And he's like, "Drayden."
Okay.
I'll get it for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Elijah's like leaning over, like 1 foot up on the rim of the sidecar, just like, "Hey,
Okay, so to recap, you guys are side by side right now, and you're attempting to hand the blunderbuss from the sidecar, which is on the right-hand side of the bike. How are you doing this? So
I'm assuming
if-
we're on the driver's side of."
okay, so you're handing it over to Dwight.
no, what he's
driving.
gonna hit is Sabella.
Right, I'm going to lean over Dwight so he doesn't
Bella's,
have to
like,
take his
in
hand.
Dwight's lap, leaning over.
It's so
That-
good to see you!
Picture a
That's
movie.
that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay, so Sabella, as you are leaning over Dwight, I need you to make a spot hidden to keep your attention on the road and not, get whipped in the face by not being able to.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, you're doing this, and then what I'm going to need is a combined roll, which is going to be let's make it a dex by both. A dex coming from Strider
Oh my
and
God.
a dex going to Lauren. So from Elijah to Sabella.
I'll use another advantage.
Oh, thank God it wasn't
Okay,
me.
so
I
a
failed completely.
success on the first one.
I got a success as well.
Yay.
Okay, so you guys are able to do this transfer as the 4-barrel blunderbuss is transferred from motorcycle and sidecar to the Jeep. All the while, sand is whipping up, some of it larger grains and pebbles that are pelting you all as you have no protection or goggles or anything like that. And as this whipping area, you guys are, Greta and Dwight are keeping the vehicles side by side as you descend further into this valley. With the spot hidden, I'd also like one from Greta, as Greta probably is, as mentioned before, she's keeping her eyes on the road, on the sand. So Greta, you're the first one to notice that up ahead there appears to be, as you dip into almost like a crescent-shaped valley, the trail itself dips down where there is a wall of rock on the side, and what looks to be at least a 30-foot drop on the other. It is one lane, the truck is going down, and you two are going to need to make a decision here about pursuit. Are you? And the other decision is who goes first, because you certainly can't go side by side anymore.
Was Elijah able to get his hands on the 45?
Yeah, we'll say everything was switched up.
Are we chasing?
They got Jack in the crown.
Okay.
Can I ram him?
Jack,
Can I do a bomb?
Kilgrave! Kilgrave! Jack, Kilgrave!
He's deceased?
I
No.
guess not! Hi,
Oh.
Greta!
Hello, Fräulein Ives.
Oh, we backtracked.
I'll take out the tires. Dwight, stop fucking teleporting me.
Can I jam into him?
You want to ram into the motorcycle?
No. The truck. We're
Oh my god.
I was about ready to throw my cards out. Okay.
I know who's gonna lose in that battle.
Yeah.
Okay, so to get closer to them, I am going to ask you both again for a drive auto roll, and I need at this point to know who is going to. Let's roll the drive auto roll first, please.
This seems important. So I'm gonna use another advantage.
Me too.
After the roll comes in.
I was gonna say it. Use your
Okay,
luck.
so
I won't even do it. I'll be fair. Yeah, I'll say I didn't say it.
Then you can-
No, I didn't say it, so I'll play by the rules.
okay. By the way, we got
And-
advantages: Kate 2, Sabella 3, Dwight 1, Elijah 3, Greta 1.
Awesome.
Actually, no, I'm sorry, Sabella 2, because you just used one, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I would use it advantage.
I will spend 3 points of luck because I don't want to go off this 30-foot cliff.
You might want to shout that out though.
Okay, so as you use.
Oh, and I pointed. I'm like, oh, by the way, there's a cliff coming up.
That's not that would not help anybody.
Okay, so as the cliff is coming up, and as you use your 3 points of luck to get your drive auto into a success, you pull the bike in front of the Jeep as it and you pull ahead. Do you wish to stay ahead?
Sure.
All right. I would like everyone now to roll stealth at disadvantage. I will let you know that there is an extreme success required.
Everyone roll stealth.
Well, whoever had rolled it before. So we want to have
Okay.
Elijah and Sabella roll again, please, as they
Cool.
are.
Nope.
Okay, so for a moment, you notice that there are several figures working underneath the canvas tarp of the truck as it's rumbling down, and really, it's moving at a dangerous pace through this type of terrain. But one of the soldiers looks out. It is not a Dietrich soldier, but the soldier looks out and sees the bike coming, narrows his eyes, alarm, as he turns around and screams, and
Now
you
regrets
see
being in front of the Jeep.
several people.
But she's German.
You see several people come up. The Pope of Malibu has given you all advantages again, so everything I just told you plus
Yes.
1.
The Pope is the fucking bomb. He's the bomb of the bombs.
He is my favorite.
He is the bomb.
Praise be.
This is karma for all the shit Grant threw at us in the earlier seasons.
Right. So as you guys are rocketing down in here, we're going to say this. While everything is getting organized inside, there seems to have been some type of disturbance in the truck. So they're not this crack outfit that's ready to repel invaders. So Greta, you actually get up to right around the bumper before the truck begins to accelerate. The Jeep is still behind you. You are all now on the 1-lane road. So keep that in mind should, I don't know, somebody fall the fuck off of something. So, what would you guys like to do? I'm going to ask both vehicles. Motorcycle
asking
first,
me?
and then Jeep. What are you guys going to do? Motorcycle first.
Okay. So we're basically at the bumper. They've spotted us. Elijah has a gun. Like, And how far does this cliff extend? Are we like going downwards, or are we just riding along a 30-foot cliff drop off?
It looks as if you are descending. You're actually getting into a shadowy area as the sun is being obscured. But it looks as if it's a pretty steep descent into this valley.
Okay.
But also, as you kind of look over the side, having no exterior wall or car to kind of having to peek over, you see that 30 feet is becoming 40, 50, 60, as there is a massive fissure or a crevice to your left.
So we're going downwards, but but it's dropping as well. The bottom of this valley, this crevasse. Gotcha. Like we're going into like a Grand Canyon kind of thing. Okay. So we're still descending.
Correct.
Deeper. Okay. We're just gonna maintain control of this motorcycle, hopefully, and look over to Elijah. You're going to shoot. So people inside the back, most likely in the front as well. We can't get next to them. Do we start shooting them? Do we board? Like, what's we doing?
I'm gonna start shooting now and asking questions later.
Good plan. Go ahead. I will keep driving.
Elijah's going to have one hand on the back of the seat of the motorcycle. He's going to lean as far out and as far down as he possibly can. He's going to try to fire down at their tires, I think.
Okay,
we're real close to a tire.
This is one of those trucks that has several sets of tires on the rear, but it's like a 6-ton type of truck. As you look over, though, I will afford you this. You can take the shot from where you are. It would need to be an extreme to hit the tire. If you lean over, I will allow you to shoot and only have to hit a hard roll to hit the tire. But I will also make you make a luck roll.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning.
Okay, let's go ahead and take the shot first.
I'm going to use one of my 4 advantages. Let's see, handgun. I rolled 96 twice in a row. I hate you, roll 20.
That's bullshit.
You can
literally
use 6
cheating.
luck.
It has to be a hard still.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to roll a luck roll, my friend.
Roll 20, I hate you.
Don't say that before you roll.
It can hear you.
It's sentient.
Like the purple.
That's like the worst ever.
I will face roll 20 and walk backwards into hell while flipping off all of the API. I got a success on the
Okay, so as you lean over and you are preparing your shot, you fire and it ricochets off of the rock to the side, and for a second you feel your hands. You feel your hands slide a bit along the edge of your grip. I will allow you to take your second shot. However, you will now need a hard luck roll if you want to maintain the current position.
Yeah.
You all right? Are you using advantage this time again, or?
I don't know if I'm allowed to on luck rolls. I got an extreme on my shot this time, though.
Perfect. Now roll that luck roll for me.
And he misses. Sorry, hold on. I know how to do it now. Oh.
Right, Greta's ready to just grab the back of his shirt
I got real excited.
while driving.
Okay, let's get that luck roll, and I will let you know what happens.
Am I allowed to use advantage on luck rolls?
Yeah, I'll let you use them. Sure.
Yeah, I'll use a second advantage then.
Okay. So, as it goes, perfectly lining up, and for a moment the bike stays still, the truck stays still, the shot goes off. I'd like you to roll damage for the firearm for me, please. D10. And as the 45 goes off, or the 1911 goes off, and you're able to hit the outer tire, it blows off immediately. It immediately blows off, and you see the rim looking very odd, almost like the rim itself is coming off, but there's only because the skin and the bladder of the tire have just exploded. But as they've exploded and rocketed off with force, Greta, you watch in horror as a large chunk of the previously inflated tire strikes Sawyer and rips him off the bike.
Can I, because I was ready to grab him. Can I try to grab him?
I need Dwight to make a drive auto roll.
Come on, G.
And at the same time, I'm going to need a dex roll.
I'll use my advantage. I'm going to use the advantage I was given.
I'm going to need a dex roll from, hold your roll then for a second. I'm going to need a dex roll, but this is going to need to be an extreme from Greta, as Greta reaches while trying to maintain the bike's course.
Okay. I'll try. Use an advantage.
Okay.
Oh.
So you reach and you catch a bit of the collar of the shirt as it just skitters through your fingers as Sawyer rips off and hits the sand and bounces as he goes
has a heart
into
attack.
the air. And I am going to need that drive auto roll from Dwight as you see
So I'm going to slam on the brakes.
down the. Well, I would assume so.
Well, yeah,
I need a drive auto roll.
I can't do like a dodge.
You're not the car.
Elijah's the projectile.
All right. There's one bad roll. Yes!
Ooh! So, with a skitter and 4 damage as Elijah, your head rocks off of one of the low-hanging, like the sandstone against the side, tearing a chunk from the back of your head, revealing just an immediate abrasion and blood. Dwight hits the brakes, and as he skitters, he turns the wheel just enough to be able to not go over the edge, but the left front tire, or the right front tire, directly in front of Sabella, it comes to a stop and touches the cheek of Sawyer as you guys see the truck and Greta on the bike as they go back. They're continuing down the course.
I'm looking at like the little bike mirror.
Can I ask a question, Gage?
Yeah, sure. We're going to jump away from you guys right now, but go ahead.
Well, Dwight would pull out the grid and attempt to shoot tires now that we're full stop. He's going to attempt to take out tires.
By the time you're able to do that, they had already gone around the curve. This is a windy serpentine crevice, and as you looked up, you just saw the truck disappear.
Okay.
But Sawyer is alive. Sawyer, roll me a dex check to see if you held on to your gun as you tumbled down.
My gun.
You did. You have Dwight's gun. As you come to a rest directly behind the tire, and as you look up, you see Sabella, 2 snake-headed dogs, and Dwight. Unsure which of those or if any scare you. So let's cut back to the inside of the truck as Kate, you're inside and you have received that shot on the back of the head. But you also hear a gunshot, another gunshot, and then again you feel your basket rock to the side and you hear the crashing of things around you as this truck has either been compromised in its flight or it's crashed into something. You're not sure, but there was a tremendous amount of a cacophony of chaos. What would you like to do?
I'm going to try that little standing up trick again.
Let's roll that strength.
I'll roll at advantage if I don't make it the first time. Oh.
Again, you're able to hit, but there's still a resistance to it. It feels as if it gives a little bit more. Roll me a luck roll, and this time with advantage, as there is more chaos outside.
Success.
You may roll your strength check again, should you desire. Are you going to advantage this again? You are down to 2.
No. Fail. Oh.
Point of luck.
Yeah, I'll take the luck.
Luck, right? What's one luck, everybody? As you force, you hit it and it doesn't give, Kate, but you continue to press up as if you're, doing a deadlift or squatting something, and you finally burst free. And as your shoulders explode up, you see that the reason that you were allowed to get this far, the Nazi soldiers that are in the back of this truck are all over the place, picking themselves up off the ground. They're on top of one another. You see that in the corner, Jack Kilgrave, cut over one eye, has again begun to fight, as you see his fist hammering down onto one of them, and you see just splashes against the bright light blue turban that he's still wearing. It's kind of cocked to one side now. It's stained purple where the blood is hit, and he's just beating into one of them. And as soon as he sees you explode out of there, he runs over towards you, but you see him get tripped and he falls to the ground.
I'm standing up in the basket at this point.
Yeah.
Do I have any of the Nazi soldiers seen me? Do I think?
They seem to have most of their attention on Jack. It's only going to be moments before they seconds before they see that you've exploded out of there.
I duck back down into the basket.
Okay. Roll me another luck roll.
Hard success.
No one seems to have noticed that you have escaped at least this first part of your bonds.
Well, then I'm gonna, while I'm down there, I'm gonna start trying to get out of some of those bonds if I'm able to.
Sure. I will take a dex check here, and you tell me if you want your hands or your feet out.
My feet.
Okay.
Extreme success.
You get them both. So as you're pulling, you rip free from your ankle brace, and you're able to move your hands like atop one another and slip them through using the toes of your boots. And as you pull them both, they both give. And as they come out, Kate O'Callahan, you are inside a basket, but you are free. I will give you one more action as you hear the sound of fist on ham again as the Nazis have descended upon Jack Kilgrave.
I'm going to stand up and throw myself onto the very first Nazi that I see, of course.
Sure, I would like you to roll a fighting brawl at advantage. Okay, so you're able to jump and roll into one of them, but where you would have been able to pitch them out the back, just as you go, you see two hands stop, and Greta, you see this face and upper half of a German soldier come out of the back, and for a moment over the shoulder, you see Kate O'Callahan as she's trying to force him out the back of the truck. We are now going to camera pans in a shot that Michael Bay, like I often say, would be erect over, and as it drips from the truck and over to the motorcycle, what would you like to do, Greta, as there seems to be...
Guys right, over me, right? Because I'm practically on the bumper.
You are. You're right on the ass of this truck.
There's no way I can get the bike in the truck. But yeah, I want to, because I've got my lab coat on, I just want to, reach in with one hand, pull out a trusty scalpel, just stab him in the jugular.
Okay, you want to open him up? Sure, yeah, that sounds good. Go ahead and roll me a fighting brawl.
Okay.
And then, just like we did with our good friend Elijah, we'll see what else we have to do after that.
How about an extreme? I know exactly where the jugular is. I'm a doctor.
With an extreme roll, as is the case in this narrative, in this campaign, as it's been from the beginning, episode 1, Project Athena of Project Athena, You have rolled an extreme. You open up the jugular vein. You even manage to somehow not get any of it on you. And Kate, you feel the resistance lessen as around the bike with the stab, Greta moves the bike around as a body drops to the ground into the sand, and you guys are both looking at one another for a second.
Guten Tag.
You're muted.
I give her a Johnny salute and I'm going back into the back of the truck for the next one.
Scalpel. It's like almost clean, except there's just a little sheen of blood on the outside. Probably getting blown off from the speeds we're going at.
Are they out of our line of sight?
We're gonna jump back up and I'll let you know in a sec. But as you, Greta, I'd like you to roll a spot hidden for me. And we are getting ready to go back to the Jeep.
Okay. Success! I see things.
So as you kind of correct, it takes you about 3 or 4 feet away from the bumper of the truck as you correct and allow the body of the Nazi soldier to crash down beside you, also avoiding both sidecar and motorcycle. And as you kind of course correct and you have yourself set and you're going, you look up and you see, just as you're aware of it, there is a Nazi soldier on the roof of the canvas, seeming to have come from the front cab. He has a long rifle, not unlike one that Dwight would use, and you see him aim directly at you.
Yeah, Greta's just like, I'm gonna get shot again, aren't I?
And just as you see the eye squint, you see a flash of rainbow-colored light go against his other eye as he reaches back and seems to have been blinded by some type of prism. And he pulls back, and for a moment he has no idea what's going on, and he grabs at his eyes, and you see the rifle click, 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 and it hits the ground beside you, and you go around it. Let's go back to the Jeep.
Can we see them? Are they out of line of sight?
I'm assuming we're going to go back in time about 30 seconds here.
Okay.
I'm assuming that Elijah's jumping in the Jeep.
Get in, Sawyer, now.
Yeah, he's clambering in. I think I'm concussed. Don't let me fall asleep.
Elijah, that's Cleo and Tom. Say hi. Be good. Be good, you two.
Yeah, Dwight just steps on it. We were following him, and you guys just literally come out of nowhere and did this shit. He's pissed. And
What?
he's
Just
pissed.
drive, for heaven's
Roll me a-
sake.
I'm already doing it.
Yeah, as Dwight hits the gas, roll a drive auto for me. And Elijah, as you hit the back, bleeding.
Oh, critical. 1, baby. Yeah.
Okay.
He puts the bell in the. Okay, you got it.
I've got it. I've got this
That
one
was
from
me,
here.
I think.
So Elijah, as you jump into the back, and as just the muttering and the we're fucking following, and the Jeep accelerates at a rate that this Jeep has no business going in, especially along a cliff face that's getting 40, 50, 60 feet down to the left. Dwight, much like he is behind the scope of a rifle, is drilled in. And Greta, as you see the rifle hit and to the ground beside you, and you look and kind of watch it for a second, you see the Jeep hauling ass as if the motorcycle and the truck itself were standing still. And you see Dwight behind the wheel. Even you, with all of your prior drive auto and escape from a Phil and everything that we've done in the past, I don't know if you'd be impressed.
Been there.
But if Greta would ever be
I
impressed,
feel like
this might be a
Greta would
moment.
think, oh, he's finally learning from observing.
Always try to compete with me.
as this is expertly, by the way, you will not have to roll the next 2 drive autos as a critical carries through. So with that critical roll, you are drilled in as long as you're behind the wheel of this car, Dwight. Jeep.
Shoot the tires, Sawyer. That's what he would scream.
Sawyer, in the 10, 15 seconds it takes to catch back up to the group, you're sitting between 2 snake-headed dogs. And as you're sitting there and these snake-headed dogs are kind of turning and looking at you, the one on the side where you have your abrasion, anytime that you're not paying attention, its tongue will and lick the blood that's coming off the cut. And then when you turn and look, it just looks away. And then it turns back around and licks whenever you're... but they're both just kind of, you know...
May I roll a charm
too close.
check?
Yes, you can...
I told them to be good to you, so yeah.
One of my talents allows me advantage on charm checks. I make good first impressions.
With human beings, I'll let you roll 1.
Well, my first one was a success at 61.
Good thing they decided not to eat you. They are going to lick you, though. And in a particular spot, you continue to feel your abrasion being tended to by snake tongues.
That's Cleo. The one on your right is Cleo, and the one on your left is Tom. I'm going to pull out the serpent staff again and see if it's doing anything.
As soon as you pull it out, again, it has that needle that's kind of waving, and it's pointing directly towards the truck.
You can't get me there, can you? Say that in the call. Talk.
It seems to, at the sibilance that comes from the Nakal language, it seems to stop for a moment, but it still just maintains a pointed direction towards the truck.
That's good.
You guys have cleared the area, and you are, at this point, right behind Greta, maybe 5-6 feet off of the rear end of her back wheel, and you see that there is a soldier on the roof of the truck, seemingly blinded. I will ask the entire group outside what you'll want to do, but first, I'm going to ask Kate O'Callahan what she wants to do inside the truck.
I want to look around for some kind of weapon, maybe a rifle or something that's been dropped, or do they have rifles over their shoulders?
They have sidearms. You could literally try to grab one out of the holster that they're not currently using. You know, they have rifles that they're using and fighting, but you can try to pull, you know. I will take a dex check.
Alrighty then.
You have it.
Okay. Wait. Let me just get this straight. I have a handgun?
Yeah.
Did I see the rifle fall off of the back earlier?
Roll me a spot hidden.
Hard
Yes,
success.
You saw it. You know there's something up there.
I'm looking up at the canvas cover for where I think somebody might be standing or holding on.
With a 38, which is a hard success, you can see the depression between the kind of the ribs of the canvas. You can see where someone's very clearly like on top of the canvas.
I'm going to take note of that. And then I'm going to turn toward one of the remaining guards that's in the back of the truck with me, that's clearly a Nazi, and look for a clean shot. I don't want to hit Jack here, but...
Okay. So you see one that's kind of gotten knocked back. Now that you're able to really look at the scene, Jack is currently engaged with 4 normal-looking Nazis. And by that I mean they all look different. They all look like unique individuals.
Yeah.
You also notice a 5th Nazi who is still seated up towards the cab. Seated and staring like straight ahead. You did have a hard success on your spot hidden.
Like not moving.
Like not moving.
I am going to... I'm going to shoot one of the ones that's trying to fight Jack. Whichever one I think I can get the cleanest shot on.
Again, roll with advantage. They have no idea that you have a gun.
Okay. And can I fan the hammer?
Yeah.
Advantage on all 3?
We'll give it on the advantage on the first one.
Okay, so I'll make one more roll then for that fail. So that's an extreme and 2 successes.
Okay, the extreme is your, we'll just narratively say, the extreme is your first shot. That's the one that just ends one of them. So tell me how you eradicate 3 of the 4. We'll say that the one that's not killed is the one that is currently, like, tussling with Jack. And you take out the other 3 as they're getting ready to dogpile on top of him. But the floor is yours with an extreme. How do you take out these 3?
I'm standing toward the very rear of the truck, and as it's bouncing back and forth across the road, I've got my legs spread, and it might as well be standing still. I have it's perfectly compensating for the bumps in the road. This isn't just a life behind the stick of an airplane. This is growing up on horseback. This is everything that Kate has ever been. And it's 3 shots so fast, it almost just sounds like one. Bam, bam, bam. 3 headshots, and 3 Nazi soldiers crumple to the ground.
It's at that point that you see Jack, who, as his attacker reacts to the sounds around him, by the time he refocuses on Kilgrave smiling, his normally white teeth covered in blood, and as he smiles, he said, "I told you didn't know what the fuck you had in that basket," and he grabs him and brings his head into the nose of the other Nazi. It blasts back, and you see the Nazi turn, stumbles, eyes watering, nose bleeding, and Jack runs, grabs one of the ribs, and kicks it right past you. Greta, you see a Nazi soldier come flying out of the back as he Wilhelm screams past you, and I won't make you guys roll anything. With the expert crit on the Jeep, you're able to move right around it. You guys notice that for a moment, the members of the Jeep all bear witness to Kate O'Callahan, for the first time, who seems to be launching her own attack inside the truck. I will give you all a couple seconds to say whatever you'd like.
Did Greta see in her little motorcycle rearview mirror that Sawyer's not dead, or does she just not know?
No, we'll be able to say, because when you turned around and saw the Jeep hauling ass, you would see between 2 snakeheads Elijah in the back.
All right, good. So she's not super murder hobo right now. She's not gonna unleash the bomb. She'll be like, fuck it, throw it to the truck. There is a guy on top who appears to be blinded. And I can't... Is, like, the flaps of the truck open? I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm sorry. I just want to get an exact...
Yeah, the flaps of the truck are loose, but they're open. They're not blowing in and then kind of, like, intermittently revealing anything. They're wide open.
Okay. Is there a way to the front of the truck from the back? Or is it one of those that you have to go... Okay.
You would, it occupies the entirety of the road right now. The only way to get to the front of the truck would be to go over the truck or around the side of the truck. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't think there's much she's gonna be able to do with her motorcycle right now. I guess she'll put her scalpel back in her pocket and take her handgun out and try to get the guy on top.
Okay. Go right ahead and give me a shot.
Oh, she misses. She's not as good with guns. She's much better hand to hand.
Yeah. The shot goes wide as he still doesn't even seem like he's aware that he's being shot at right now. And you can see that in the eye that was open, the right eye that was being used to kind of drill down into the scope, he is clawing at it, and you see that he is pulling up pieces of flesh as he is almost, not the orb itself, but just around it, almost as if the skin in that area is on fire. The eye itself is fine.
She kind of puts the gun away and is just now, like, medically intrigued. Like, what did happen to him? Like, she's just curious now.
Roll me a power check.
Oh, boy. Okay. Success.
everything slows down a bit, Greta, as the air is still heavy. It is still covered with the sand and the grit, but things slow down. If this chase were taking place at 50 to 60 miles an hour, it seems like it's 5 to 10 now. And you see slowly the man ripping into his face, but he's moving at a fraction of the speed he was before. And from the sidecar you hear, "The light is warmer here. Not as warm as in West Virginia, though."
Just gonna, like, stare straight ahead for a couple seconds, like, no. Can't. She's gonna glance just over to the sidecar.
Hans is sitting there.
Off the cliff. No, I'm just kidding. That's if I was driving. Yeah. Heart palpitations for sure, like a skip, and she's just gonna be like, "What are you doing? You're dead. You would have to bad things. I have to drive."
He reaches up from the sidecar and grabs the left handlebar. As he looks ahead, looking back and forth to you, you see that he's ducking some of the debris and road grit that's coming up, and you see it kind of hitting the side of his handsome face as he looks up towards you. "How are you?"
I've been better.
"This is the best I've been in many years. I need to tell you something." And I would like all of the other Olympians to please take off your headphones. He looks at you, Greta. I've almost found the way to get through. I am only here for a moment. We can make it, all of us. All the others. I don't know if you remember, but Hades and the girls and Dwight's daughter, we're coming. We will make it, but there is an artifact in that truck. It is a crown. We do not have it where we are. Greta, if you destroy it, we will be able to come through. We can be together.
Okay.
My dear, they will try to stop you. They will believe that it is important for the mission that you are on, and it is. It is very important, but there are other ways. There are other ways to accomplish what you need to accomplish. But we can do it together, all of us. Your group, the other group, and us. Together working. We can defeat this in all the worlds. But that crown is keeping us from coming in.
Are you even real? There's been so much confusion. Not enough science.
You see him look over his shoulder. I need more time, I know, to hell with it. He takes his hand off the handlebar, and you feel the fingertips of his 4 middle and ring finger as they touch the back of your hand. Look for me in the light. The rainbows. We are coming. Greta, I have to, and he's gone.
I would also like to roll a psychoanalysis check, Greg.
Sure.
Because she wants to just yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Seems legit. Okay, so as all of you bear witness, Greta, you come back as the wind begins to whip around at normal speed. I need you to make a drive check for me, please.
Do I use my last advantage? You know what? Nope. Nope, we're gonna see what the dice want here.
And without the aid of any type of passenger, as the sidecar is now empty.
There's definitely tears, though, just streaming past as she just kind of comes back and to the moment and keeps driving the motorcycle.
The sand begins to collect in the few tears that you've let go as the Jeep pulls up as close as it can get. What would you like to do? People in the Jeep.
Is the one man still on top of the cargo, the group transport?
Yes, but at this point, everyone can see that he is completely preoccupied with digging at his face.
I'm actually still going to try to shoot him anyway.
Sure, go right ahead.
Sabella, I have had a hell of a day and I want to hurt somebody. Dwight, don't you talk to me about people appearing and disappearing out of thin air. That's the wrong damage, but that is... Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, we're good.
We're going to say with that shot, you see the man get taken in, like, right where neck meets shoulder. It's just enough to flip him as you see him. He doesn't scream. It's almost a blessing as you see him fall off into the ravine, still clawing at his face as he falls.
Sawyer yells, 19!
Can we see anybody else?
Roll me a spot hidden and then tell me what exactly or where you're looking, Lauren, where Sabella's kind of casting her gaze.
Oh, okay.
Lot of sand, you see everything that's been described, but any more information's kind of eluding you as this is just a chaotic scene.
My turn?
Yeah, you're driving.
You can do stuff. You do something.
Well, you'd be real salty to me.
It's in the name.
It is. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of salt being...
I'm stuck in a passenger seat. Please do something so I can do something.
I guess I'll do something right now. Dwight he's probably seen Kate. Do you want me to spot hidden Kate?
Yeah, you guys have seen, you see Kate's in there fighting. You have not seen Jack.
Dwight was the driver. I'll spot hidden all that.
You could not see the driver. The front of the truck is around the bend. You can't pass up to that area.
He wants this truck to stop.
Okay, but you can't see the driver.
Okay. But I see Kate.
You can see Kate's in the back. You don't see anything more as far
I'm gonna hear it from her so bad right now. I know it. He already can anticipate what Kate's gonna say to him when he sees her. So he's like, well, there she is. Like it's no surprise that everybody's here, kind of deal. So he's gonna try to stop the truck. He wants to get the thing out of the way.
Okay, tell me how you're gonna do it, and then I'll allow you to do this without having to make a drive check, but this will burn the last of your kind of freebies with the drive checks. If you want to make a shot. It will have to be an extreme from this angle.
It's going to be extreme?
Yep.
All right, he's gonna attempt to stop the truck.
Unless, of course, you're using the blunderbuss.
I'm using the blunderbuss. It's in my hand now. Apparently, I was given it.
Okay.
Did she give me that?
No, I kept it so I could shoot it.
God, this sucks.
Yes, I gave it to you, dude.
I will shoot the blunderbuss. What do you want me to shoot? Rifle?
You shoot a rifle, and whatever you get, I'll tell you what happens.
No, let me find. Okay, there it is. Not even close.
Okay, so as you fire, you realize that despite having a pull on the trigger or a give or a different action on the trigger, as soon as it depresses, all the barrels go off at once. And as it rips back, you're unprepared for this type of kickback coming from this thing. The other tire that Elijah hadn't hit explodes off the back. As everything crashes to the ground and begins to slide and skid. Let's make this legit. You see the side of the back of the truck, the other wheel jumps off the back as it begins to slide sideways, and for a moment, like a quarter or a third of the front of the truck is revealed as what would have been the back right wheel that is now gone, and the two back left wheels go off as the entire truck is now kind of pitched and levered between expanse and the edge of the path that it's on. And as it slides, it continues to slide, the undercarriage ripping, and you see exhaust pipes and things getting torn, thrown down into the chasm, back along the road as Greta's moving around these pieces as they break apart. I need a dex check inside from Cato Callahan.
Hard success.
Kate, you keep your feet, but Jack Kilgrave does not. As you see him pitch backwards, and for a moment, as your view looking out the back kind of shifts down, and you see cavern walls and the edge of a ravine, and you see Jack Kilgrave begin to fall out of the back of the truck. What would you like to do, Kate?
I have an empty sidecar.
You're currently on the road. This is the back facing the ravine now. Sorry.
I'm gonna try to grab for him.
Roll me a dex check then, please.
Regular success.
So as you reach out, Jack reaches for you, and for a moment, your two hands grasp almost in like a soldier's lock as you're holding on. And Jack's looking down at you as he looks behind and sees the 65, 70, 80 feet to the rocky floor behind. But just as this happens, you see Jack's eyes get wide and he says, "Kate!" And Kate, you feel a hand on your shoulder. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we will end this episode of Project Athena. So, our first truck chase, which was fun. All right, I'm going to start with Kate. Kate, how are you doing? And how did you like being brought back for another go-round here in 1933?
It was a blast, obviously. Are you sure we can't do another hour or two? Because I got time.
Ready.
So I've been thinking about that personality change that you introduced and how I would play that, or that experience change and how it would play out my personality. And there were two times where where I played it safe that I normally would not have. When I ducked back down into the basket and when I didn't take the shot on the top of the truck, because I wasn't sure if it was a good guy or a bad guy who was up there. And both times they paid off. That's weird. I guess, I mean, who knows what have happened. Anyway, sort of a fascinating little mental shift. I'm eager to see what you have to do with it in future episodes. But until then, you can find me confused that sometimes chaos isn't the best approach, apparently, on Twitter at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y. I know, it's bizarre. I'm as shocked as anybody else. And on some other great shows, particularly here on the channel on Wednesday nights for May Black Roses Bloom. Some amazing stuff happening there. Thank you, chat, for all of your gifts and donations and support and love. Thank you, cast. You're amazing. Thank you, Greg. We'll see you all next week.
Fantastic, fantastic. And let us jump over. I'm going to save Lindy for last as we go up to Steve. Steve, our sniper extraordinaire, how are you doing, my friend? I will let you know that I was just informed that of the polls that have taken place throughout the course of this episode, you have won them both.
Yeah, so tonight was my night, I guess.
When we start next episode, you will take a 1d10 sanity loss, but also have the ability to 1d10 heal and an aforementioned care package from the Dwight Burke farm. How are you doing, bud?
I'm good. I appreciate everything tonight. Thank you, Pope. Thank you for everybody who contributed. I had a blast. This was amazing. We'll see how this goes. I really, I'm getting close because I'm feeling like we're getting to the end, and I love everybody. And thank you. These people are amazing. Follow them. Follow everybody. Have a good evening. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy holidays. And I'll see you soon.
Awesome, buddy. And Allison, you may roll your D10 now, or you may wait until the end of next episode, as we are currently still in the same scene. So I will allow you to make that decision whenever you would like. Either I will allow it to carry over to next week if you'd like.
I'll roll it next week.
Sounds good. As we jump up to my man Strider. Strider, how are you doing, my friend? And hell of a shot. Hell of a survive, too.
Yeah, my health is dwindling lower and lower, so I need to go ask my doctor friend to inject me with whatever she keeps in her bags. Absolutely terrified by the facial expressions Lindy was making during her one-on-one. I don't know if that care package from the Berg farm was good or bad, but I'm excited to see. We are playing Pulpy. Elijah is always been a devil-may-care throw caution of the wind kind, so I want to see how much damage he can actually take before the Pulp Cthulhu system finally does him in. So, yeah, I like all of it. The season 4 has been my favorite. Catch me here next week. My mind's rattled, so I don't know what else to say.
I will say this, and thank you, brother. Often I have told this group, the audience, everyone on Twitter, that I more than any other show, Projects Athena and Kronos have inspired such a need for artwork. And I don't know if there's anything in recent, there's been plenty of great things, but again, I want a shot of Greta driving the motorcycle. You can't even see Greta, just the back of the lab coat, and Elijah facing the wrong way into the camera of the picture, giving the salute. I just want that. I want that picture, like that's the greatest single, one of the pulpiest things that we've done because of the comedic element in it, I think. is it's very, very reminiscent of some of those earlier works.
And I've been gifted a blunderbuss on this channel before, so I needed to gift that to someone else.
Architect made sure that blunderbuss found its way back into your capable hands. So
Blunderbuss is something to be afraid of.
it exactly is. And something else to be afraid of is Lauren. Lauren, how are you doing this evening? And how did you enjoy your time in 1933?
Good as always. Y'all can find me on Twitter at @ThatSaltyGinger. I play games around the internet. I post everything over there. See y'all next week.
Yay! And then finally, we get down to Lindy. Lindy, how are you? How did you enjoy your time in 1933? And yay! Patrick Swayze-esque Ghost Visitors, how are you doing?
Hi, Greg. I'm doing good. I'm shook. I'm still a little emotional. Today was an emotional roller coaster. I'm great. That was yeah. I can't wait to see what happens. Glad Elijah's not dead. Yeah, it's gonna be real interesting. You can find me online. Hopefully less shook. Other places. I Laugh Love Lindy, Twitch, Twitter, social medias. Definitely check out my channel Tuesday night for episode 2 of Mists of Ravenloft, a gothic horror D&D campaign that is super duper great, and we're just diving full into the gothic horror this Tuesday, so it should be super awesome. And if you want to see me and Greg both freaking out over Call of Cthulhu, check out Encounter Roleplay Wednesdays 1 to 4 Eastern, where we play a charming husband and wife, totally innocent, not murder duo. It's great.
Totally innocent, 100%. Totally. All right, everybody. I love you all. Everybody, links to these wonderful people are in chat. If I said it once, I've said it a million times. Please follow them, as they are great people. Surround yourself with good and kind and good will surround you. Also, chat, I want to thank you all so much for your passion and your support and your comments. Your additions to the narrative are, I mean, it makes the show what it is. This is a collaborative community, like so many others here on the place, but this is ours. This is our Pulp Cthulhu family, and you all do such a fantastic job in expressing both your love for these characters, the story, and adding to it with your incredible creativity. As always, I strive to make sure that when something is donated for the channel and for the story, it finds a good spot to appear, and if I dare say, the perfect spot to appear. So anything that has not yet made its way into the narrative, I guarantee you that it will. And when it does, hopefully it'll be at a time when it is most needed, and when at a time the story can most accept it as the awesome element that it is. But until then, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and on the Twitters. Please join us back here at the channel, where we have a bunch of fun things happening now and in the future, as people that you see around here are doing things that are going to be fun. And then we have everybody here doing things that will always be fun, because these people are fun. And like I said, surround yourself with kind and good and kind will surround you. But until next time, my friends, take care of yourselves. For those in the US, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be here in 1933 waiting for you.